So what
or
I have to
burger.
say always is good morning and welcome to Monday Live Chat. It's Lynne here from the Learn English Network. Yay, I'm back off holiday. I should be refreshed and raring to go, but I'm actually completely shattered and I need a week at home just to get over my holiday.
Well, you could have a break before going back on the job on the network then.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, normally we do take a
Okay.
little bit of no, normally we take a little bit more time getting home, and we normally give ourselves a few days, 3 or 4 days just to get over things. And this time we were rush because hubby had to be back at work this morning,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, sort of like he's already gone. He left at 7 o'clock, so I don't know what's going on there, but
Oh
I
gosh.
know because he's only 10 minutes from work, of course. So yeah, it's been a bit busy. And now, who have we had join us? Hi, Beam. Nice to see you. Can you hear us? Can we hear you? Don't forget, this is voice chat.
Hi, Leanne. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Oh, nice clear voice as well. Excellent. We love it. Now, Reem, I'm not sure if you can see the messages that Zaki and Zom were posting to each other just before the session started. Actually, where's Mustafa? Mustafa's meant to be joining us this morning. Maybe he's forgotten. Yes, possibly. Anyway, they were talking about holidays. And Zaki, you're on holiday too, yes?
Yeah, actually, this week is the last week, and
Oh, make the
we
most of
finish
it.
at the end of this week.
And then it's back to school. Well, back to college, back to university, back to school. Yes. Zom says that in France, students have a 2 month summer holiday. Would you like that?
2 months? Well, when you are a kid, you get bored at
Yeah.
some point.
I agree.
But,
But
nowadays,
do they
yeah.
nowadays? That's us, Zom. We are a certain age. Do you think kids get bored on the summer holidays now? I don't think they do. They've got so much to
Oh,
do. Maybe they miss their friends.
perception is totally different.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when you go to school is that all your friends, all your activities are related to school. And so on holidays, suddenly all your friends are not around. You don't know exactly what to do with your time. So it's a little bit weird. When you grow up, after some times, you just can't. Well, you get busy with your own activities, and so you are running after time. It's totally different. So I
Yeah.
want 2 months holiday.
Exactly. 2 months holiday sounds like bliss. In fact, let's just do a 12-month holiday. Now you can. Zaki likes that idea.
Yeah, that's very good.
I mean, work and it's studying work. Let's let the robots take over.
Exactly. But
I
it's
don't.
funny because
Yeah. Carry on.
I've joined other servers on Discord, and one of them is full of people on holiday right now, students going to university, or even what's the name of the school before university? I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, in
Uh,
the UK it's college, but in America they tend to mess up college and university, and the one before you go to university or college, it's really complicated in America. They can't seem to
okay,
make their
so
mind up.
high
It's high
schools or
school,
colleges.
yeah. Well, yeah.
And they
In
get
the
bored.
UK, high school's either sixth form, but I'm not sure if the sixth form even exists anymore because people tend to either go to college or to apprenticeship or something like that in the UK now. But we do
Yeah.
differentiate between college and university. College is pre-university where you go for your you try and either get a qualification for a job sort of like vocational qualification, we call it. Or if you want to go to university, you try and get the grades you need to go on to university. So it's a bit different here. Don't even start me on the German system. I can't, even Germans can't understand the German system.
Okay.
Oh, they do streaming in Germany, okay? By which I mean, if you're clever
What do you mean
enough,
people stay at home?
if you're clever enough, you go to what they call a gymnasium, which always makes me sound like they're going to do sport all day, but no, they call it a gymnasium. And if you're not clever enough, you go to a normal school and you get streamed into, you know, becoming a bricklayer or something like that. They really do it early on. Oh no, it's been going on for years. Years and years. It's really strictly regulated. They're, I think, thinking of changing it because it really does decide very early on whether you're academically able or not. And it's too early because, you know, kids change, they grow up. And just because you can't do calculus at 14 doesn't mean so you won't be able to do it at 16. Crazy. Sana's joined us. Hello, Sana. Thanks, Om. You're faster than me. So, Sana. Oh, Sana can't hear me. Sana, join us in voice chat.
I think it's Sana from live chat, so it's going to be a bit.
It's going to be a little bit of a come join us. Here we are. Here's the breadcrumbs. The little breadcrumbs. So if you're watching this on YouTube thinking, oh, what do they mean, voice chat? Here's text chat here, text channels. I'm actually pointing at this. You can't see it unless you're watching the YouTube stream. And here is the common room where we text chat. You can see a hash in front of it. But underneath you can see voice channels. And this is the voice channel we're using this morning, MLC, Monday Live Chat. And for the voice channels in front, you can see a little speaker symbol. So if you see a hashtag symbol, that's text. It's logical. And if you see the little speaker symbol, it's voice. It's very logical.
That's it.
It all makes sense when you think about it. But when you first join,
yeah, but you have to think about it.
You have to think, yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of thinking. I like confusion because it means you're thinking. Some things are too easy now.
There is a better way.
Yeah, some things are too easy now. We're losing some core skills because of tech, like map reading. You know, forget about it. With young people, they don't even know what a map looks like, and because they've got GPS on their phone. Why do they need a map?
Well, yes, it's true. But I don't know if we are losing skills or if we are acquiring new ones that are more fitting with the day-to-day life we are living, the society we are living in.
Both, but when that day-to-day living doesn't work anymore, as in, there's a guy in Wales, I don't know if you can look it up, it's a recent news story, I think on the BBC. There's a guy in Wales, and Wales is worse than France for connectivity. Okay, you know, forget it. You're not going to get there. Even when you're in honestly, even when you're in somebody's house in Wales, because they've got really thick walls. The old houses have really thick stone walls. You can't get Wi-Fi.
Oh, you can't go through.
You can't go through the walls. Forget about doing anything in the garden. There's no satellite above Wales. No, but this guy's he's renting. He's doing satellite. Bandwidth. So he's renting part of a satellite. You know where that satellite is? Africa. So you tell me where the developed world is.
Africa?
Yeah, he's having to actually piggyback off a satellite over Africa. Yeah, over the Congo. It's over the Congo. I mean, of course, it's a long way up, but it is amusing that, you know, that's how good England is. That's how, Wales. That's how good the UK is.
Google balloons over France and the UK.
Wow, I know. But the remarkable thing is he can do that, which is brilliant. The terrible thing is he has to do it, which is awful.
He's got no choice.
No, well, not if he wants to use his bandwidth, yeah. So, holidays. Let's get back to holidays. Go on.
What I wanted to say earlier anyway, is that when I go to chatting with these younger people than I am that are still going to school, they pop around all the time. And the most frequent message is not hi, hello, or whatsoever. It's I'm bored. Anyone to chat with me? So Zaki, then I had a question. During these 2 weeks, Zaki, did you have enough time to get bored?
Actually, not much. I was a bit busy with English.
Love with this language, come on. So you know how to keep yourself busy anyway. That's good. But it's funny because these young people I was, so it's good for me. Action with them, I'm still enjoying that. But these people at the same time, it's a language server, and they know more languages than I do. They speak Spanish, English, Italian most of the time, and Portuguese. And they keep learning, and they get into Japanese. And even doing that, which is quite time consuming and keep your mind busy and make you do other things at the same time, they say, I'm bored, I feel bored. So it seems like it's not necessarily linked to the lack of activities or occupation, and it's very puzzling to me. Real, or they are lacking something in what they are doing, and I don't know what it is, because I get a thrill chatting with them, and I don't feel bored when I'm doing it. So it sounds very weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a saying that mothers say to their children in the UK: only boring people get bored. Ooh, that's harsh, isn't it?
That's very, very harsh.
Well, it's the thing mothers say, okay? Oh, well done, Moz, you're level 3, yay! Hi, Moz, good morning, how are you? Can you hear us? Can we hear you? Yeah, don't type. It's Monday Live Chat. Live. I've got to change it, I think. MLV, Monday Live Voice. Or what do you reckon?
Just to say hello, Moz, you can just unmute and say hello even if they're in the background. It's on the Monday morning for us.
Okay, no problem. All right, I'll let you off then. You can hear us. We're talking about holidays and how long is too long for a holiday. I mean, I jokingly said we should have a 12-month holiday, but really that wouldn't be a holiday if you expected to have a job when you came back, or if you expected to still be on your course at university. If you're at university, you can have what we call a gap year. I don't know if you've heard about gap years.
Gap years. Okay.
Yeah, a gap year. It means you stop studying and you come back after a year. You can travel, get experience, do whatever it is that you want to take the gap year for. It means you don't graduate for a year. Some universities don't like it. Sometimes you have your gap year at the end of the course, and instead of going straight into work, you have a gap year to experience the world and to get some life experience after 4 or 5 years of studying. You can also
decide take it, or
you can decide. Yeah, you decide whether to take it or not. My niece is not going on a gap year. Actually, she's going on work experience. So that's not really a holiday, but she's going to go to South America, I'm afraid to say, to do her work experience in a marketing company. But
it's not work. It's not work, and it's not studying. It's work experience. So she works for free.
Well, it is work. Well, yeah, no. Not everybody can afford to work for free. My family isn't the sort of family where you can afford to work for free. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Trump's family was able to work for free. That's they've got a different name for that, and I don't approve of it. I think it's slavery, basically. And because it kind of, if you work for free, I mean, full time, doing a proper job, you've practically graduated. You've only got a year left to do your studies, and you're working. It's called an internship. Yeah.
So it's part of the study.
Yeah. It has to. Well, I was meant to do that as part of my university studies, but I said no, I'm not doing it. And you do have the choice to say no, I'm not doing it, because it's another year. And, you know, what am I going to learn in that year that I hadn't already learned?
It's a full year.
Yeah. For six months to a year, depending on the internship. Yeah. It's quite hefty. If you're very young and you've got no job experience, you've never worked anywhere, I think it's a good thing. But if they're expecting you to work for free or next to nothing, you know, you just get your accommodation and food, that kind of thing. Well, it didn't exist in my day. Let me put it that way. And I blame the Americans. They started it. You know, people started to think it was okay to get people to work for them for nothing. In fact, you know, I'd love to say, oh, let's do an internship for the Learn English Network. I can get slaves for a year. Fantastic. But I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it.
You call them volunteers. You call them volunteers. It's different.
No. Because volunteers do what they can when they can. Yeah? Volunteers do a couple of hours. An internship, you're working full time. You're not dipping in and out. You know, you've got a job. You're expected to be there at whatever time they start and be there until whatever time they finish, or longer if you want to.
In South America. Hey, where do I sign?
Well, actually, I'm going to see what it's like in South America. I'm going to follow. She's not starting till October, so I'm going to be very interested to see what the work culture's like. She's on my Facebook. And I'm going to be asking her lots of questions like, you know, come on, what time do you start work? How long is your lunch break? Be honest. Hi, April. Yay. Excellent. Let's see, who's in then? Okay, Sana. Oh, thank you, Zom. Okay.
Yeah, you're talking, so I do the typing.
Yeah, I'll talk, you type. And Shiny's here as well. Excellent. Guys, we're talking about holidays. And we got distracted, or sidetracked, I should say, onto internships, which aren't holidays, of course. But gap years are holidays. A gap year is you finish your course, or you nearly finish your course, and you decide to take a year out. Literally, they call it a year out. I like that. Now, if you're at work and you decide to take a year out, we call that a sabbatical. I don't know if you've heard of that word, sabbatical.
I did that.
Aye, yeah, of course you did, yes.
Yeah, and it's good because then it's just an interruption of your work contract, and so you've got the security to...
Now, did you actually get a sabbatical then? Were you paid?
Were you what?
Paid whilst you were away.
No. It's an interruption. It put on hold my work contract. So
but you could come back to your job afterwards, yeah.
You don't call that... So there are different things.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think you can use it sabbatical, but you'd have to put an unpaid sabbatical, because the term sabbatical is sort of a university term. The idea was that university professors would be able to take a year to go and further their interests, maybe to do some travel to an exotic place where there were mollusks or something. I don't know. But it was paid leave. And it tends to mean paid leave.
This does not exist, does it?
It does, yes. It does. Not at our level. As I said, professors, directors, that kind of thing. It's very cushy in some jobs, you know. You just need to get the right job title and you can ask for a sabbatical. They pay you, maybe a reduced pay, maybe, and your job's there for you when you come back. It's fantastic. What you had was more of a career break.
Plenty of career breaks. Not always the security to get back on the job.
Or you could just put unpaid sabbatical. Okay. You just put the adjective as unpaid.
No, I'm sad. That's a bloody miserable Monday.
Sorry, Sam. You just didn't ask for the right terms and conditions. The problem is, there is, of course, this idea that if you've taken a sabbatical, you are going to come back and you are going to then work twice as hard, and that your break is something to do with your job. So maybe
hard
to do a course, or maybe to do some travel relating to your work, to do some similar work somewhere else, to see how they do things, that kind of thing. I don't think you could say, oh, I need to top up my tan, can I have a sabbatical? Okay, so let's see. April.
What?
April's always on holiday. And in England, and students have to pay so much, not fair. Yeah. Which are you talking about, April? The internship. Take the mic. Oh, has April got mic?
Hi, Lynne.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Have you missed me?
Escape safely.
Did you miss me? Yeah, they let me back in the country. Hey, no, come on. They let me back. I got into England, no problems. I got back out of England, no problems. And they let me back into Germany, no problems. Let's see what happens next year. So, April, what did you mean by, students have to pay so much?
It is not fair. Students have to pay so much. They are going to protest, and they don't get their requests, and they have to work also for their study, and they don't have money, and all the money now goes to sabbatical year for professor, for example. That's not fair. That's really not fair. They already have money. They already have job, and then you give them for 1 year somewhere else, in an exotic land, to live and to work and to do nothing. Maybe, I don't know. Me, in the past, we could take not a sabbatical year, because it is I don't know, maybe we can say that also a sabbatical year, but we can take for example 1 year for a trip to foreign country, for example, but it is not paid, and now they don't have money for that. So you can still take a sabbatical year, but only for a real reason. For example, you have to take care of your ill grandmother, or children. I don't know, but that is the only reason now, to have not paid year of leave then. But if you say, oh, I want to go for a couple of months to make a trip, to make a long trip for in the whole world, you don't need to pay me. No way. You will not have your job anymore if you come back. So that is what the situation here. Take care of if they are ill, and nobody can take care of them, and they can go to the hospital, for example. Your grandparents who have the dementia, and you have to take them in at home, and you have to take care of them, and it is a whole-time job.
Yeah, we wouldn't
and
call
what's
that
the link
a
with
sabbatical. We'd actually call that a compassionate leave. It sounds strange, I know, but compassionate leave is where you
not a sabbatical. Yeah.
Yes, of course you can ask for compassionate leave, but again, it's up to the employer whether they are going to allow you back into the same job at the same pay rate, etc.
If you are still paid, so you are asking for leave to take care of your member of the family,
you wouldn't be
whatsoever.
paid for that. You wouldn't be paid. No. What you would get is a carer's allowance. but that's paid by the government. If you become a full-time carer.
So the government, so you pay social contributions when you work, so that when something happens, it's like how insurances work. Well,
that's
social
right,
contribution are insurances, and so you get a compensation during this time of this period of time.
Tiny amount. Tiny amount.
That's it.
So yeah, and be careful of carer and career. Career and carer, totally different words, different pronunciation, but some people get them confused because there's only an E in it, isn't there? Sana, welcome! You made it! Yay! Easy when you know how, isn't it? Sana, can we hear you? Would you like to introduce yourself? Are you able to speak, Sana? I can see your mic is open. So try saying hello. Just say hello. I can just see little green waves, little green things. Yeah. Try saying hello. No sound. Okay, it might be that the sound qualities or the connection's not good enough. But if you can hear us, Sana, that's good. Next person, Shiny. What do you think of holidays? Unpaid, paid, sabbaticals, internships? Shiny, have you got voice this morning? Have you not spoken for the last 3 weeks? Please, people, tell me Shiny's been speaking.
I haven't seen Shiny, but probably in Natasha's session.
Shiny, can you hear us? She's got. Oh no, she's there. She's typing. No, don't type. Speak. Thank you. Now say it. I won't believe you mean it until you say it.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yay! It's that easy. Now, Sana, I can see that you've got a green circle round your avatar, but we can't hear you. When you see, for example, if I was to type at Sana222, it means we can't hear you. So go into your settings and make sure you're using the right microphone, and then go into your mic settings and make sure you're at the right volume. Okay, usually it's your volume setting or the fact that you're not using the right microphone in the settings for Discord. And you'll find the little settings information next to your avatar at the bottom. You've got the microphone symbol for mute, the headset symbol for, it says deafen, but it actually means just no sound. And then you've got the user settings, and in user settings you can then set up your microphone and headset, or whichever you're using, your speakers, etc. Okay. Oh, Buff. Hello, Buff. Hi, Buff. I don't know who Buff is, but hello anyway. I don't know. It's my first day back. That's my excuse. Now,
well, no excuse. Usual crazy.
Exactly. If you're interested in sabbaticals and other such things, there's a good website here, the Career Break site. I remember I said to you, we call it a career break. And of course, yes, you can also become a volunteer. You can go and work abroad. You can go on an internship. You can do a course, etc. And it even covers TEFL. Which is one of those things that a lot of students in the UK do. They take voluntary work abroad to teach English, and they go to many different places, usually places that can't afford full-time teachers, etc. And they go there and they teach English. So it's a good career break for English speakers. Maybe not so relevant to you guys, but there might be something equivalent in your language. You never know. As Zom said earlier, the people she's meeting in the other servers are often learning multiple languages because the internet has opened up the world of the world, and especially the world of languages, you can learn pretty much. You can learn Navajo if you want to.
Yeah, you really don't have to travel anymore and immerse yourself in a country to learn a language at all. There are plenty of options on the internet. It's very quite easy. I think more accessible and with the same result as traveling to a country. Well, you don't have the pleasure of being in the country itself, so you are missing out on something. But if it's just about learning a language, just the sake of learning a language, then you can do it online pretty easily actually nowadays, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so much easier than it used to be. I really do. I mean, certainly for my
What's
generation.
funny as well is that all these young people I met during the last 3 weeks, most of them, they work in computing and learn how to program stuff like Siri, all the little bots that are learning how to interact with us in many different languages. So that's crazy. Yeah. They are learning themselves languages, and they are studying how to program. They are into artificial intelligence as well, and their course of studies is about how to program Siri stuff or this kind of things to make the bots better at interacting with each other. They are very crazy conversations over there, and it was very interesting. I'm lost actually because I'm very far away from all of that, out of touch. So when they are talking about programming, forget about. I have to forget about what I know about programming. They are not into this kind of programmation.
No, the world has moved on in programming languages.
There is a gap, and I felt fucking old.
Well, it happens to us all. It happens to us all. But yeah,
it's good.
Bots are an interesting one, actually. They're not there yet, believe me. Even the cleverest of them isn't there yet, because they can't deal with weird stuff. Humans are very good at dealing with stuff we don't really understand, because we'll interpret it and we'll make sense of it. But if you give a bot something that's not perfectly scripted, they really struggle. They're good with rules, and that's why I blame linguists personally. They're trying to tie the English language down just so that AI can speak English.
I can access to it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, okay. So no fluffy learning, no fluffy language, just something very dry.
Yeah. And yeah, Moz
for
thinks he
AI
can speak.
to get into it.
Oh, April, by the way, teaching English still necessary, Lynne. If anybody's confused by that, I did tweet or Facebook something about how English is becoming less relevant in the world. So you've all been wasting your time, guys.
Good. No, it's never lost. But
no, I agree.
Other languages are creeping in?
Yes. Well, it's just that... I mean, is English still relevant? I think it is, because I think so much information, so much time has been spent by people learning this language around the world. It is the lingua franca. But there are some people who are saying, well, it's not really relevant today.
Things change. At
Exactly,
the moment it
yes,
is.
at the moment.
But,
That's what I said, at the moment. What's going to take over, people reckon, is emojis. So learn emoji language.
Well, Asian emoji then, because between the Indian population, Chinese population, and the African population, they are part of the population that is going to grow faster than any other populations. Keep an eye on what's going on in Nigeria, India, and China. If you want to learn emojis language.
Absolutely. Well, it's so rich now. I mean, you really are becoming, and let's face it, the Egyptians started it. If you go to Egypt and you look at the language of the day, the written language of the day, spoken language is of course different, but the written language, it was emojis. Come on. So, Moz,
there is a movie now, no?
Oh, don't! It's got slated. Not the sort of. Did you watch that Pac-Man one as well? They did this Pac-Man movie. Every time they try and bring the internet onto or anything to do with technology onto the big screen, it's a big, huge hashtag fail. Tron, anything they've tried. What was the other one? The one with the girl who was being hunted. I think the only people who've ever managed it is Person of Interest. They did it well. Everybody else. Oh, and Mr. Robot. That's good. That's good as well. Everything else just trite nonsense. Anybody who knows anything about computers, etc., forget it. But yeah, they've tried to do an emoji cartoon film. It's been slated, and the critic I trust to give me good information about films has slated it, so I'll believe him. Anyway, let's see. Oh, thank you, April. Thanks a lot. Okay, I'll let April deal with Buff, who's trying to speak. Moz, you think you can speak now? Shall we be the judge of that? Would you like to say something? Nope. You can't. Hashtag fail.
Hashtag fail.
Moz.
Hello.
Oh, hello!
Sorry.
Yay!
Sorry,
I was just about to give you the dreaded 222. I can hear you now. How are you?
It's hard to find the icon on my cam, so I speak lately. And the reason why I can speak because of my puppies went barking crazy and they were asking for food.
They're always barking
So that's
crazily.
why I can speak.
Your puppies are they're noisier than my puppy. Yeah,
Yes,
there we go. So, Moz, how are you? How have you been the last 3 weeks? What do you want to tell me?
Nothing. It's nothing new, but I am planning to take a 1-day trip. I mean, I will go into sir, another an amusement park. I was thinking about yeah, circus. It's circus and amusement park. It's different. So I will discuss about my planning about going to amusement park in United Kingdom, where the rides there. But I cannot go ride on a high rides like Ferris wheel or roller coaster because I am afraid of heights. I'm going to ride on the bumper cars or anything on the low rides.
Okay, so you'll be on the teacups.
Yeah.
Now, April
Like
knows.
that.
April knows about fear of heights. What do we call it, April? Can you remember?
Fear and fight?
Fear of heights. What do we call it?
Hoogtevrees. In Dutch, you mean?
No, in English.
Phobie. I don't know.
Okay, no, you were talking to me about it before, acrophobia. When we were doing our mountains session in World, in Kitely, you mentioned it a couple of times. I thought, oh, she knows that word, great. Yeah, it means you're acrophobic, Moz. Yeah? I am acrophobic.
Okay, acrophobic.
Yeah, that means fear of heights. Careful of the ac, because if you say agoraphobic, that's fear of crowds. Agoraphobia is, I think.
Okay, thank you, Lynne.
I'm fearophobia. I'm fearophobic.
How about you, Lynne? Aren't you afraid of or not? Aren't you acrophobic?
Not really. I used to go climbing. Agoraphobia is fear of open spaces. I'm just trying to remember what fear of crowds is. I know there is one. So agoraphobia is fear of open spaces, and fear of crowds. There's demophobia, but normally it's enochophobia. But it can be crowds as well. Agoraphobia, I think. I'm sure it can. I'm sure if you're frightened of open spaces, but also lots of people. But they've got one, enochlophobia, which I've never heard of before. Fear of crowds. I am enochlophobia. I don't like real crowds. That's why I don't go on demonstrations anymore. You never know what people are going to do when they're in a crowd. Hey,
Well,
Bob,
you don't
well
expect-
done. Fact, level 1 already. Woo! Welcome back, Sana.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear a little voice. Hi. A little echoey. You do? Are you a bot? No, you're not. I know. But we can hear you. Yeah, it's bad connection. Okay, when you see 111, it means I can hear you. 222, I can't hear you. And 1212, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Captain. I cannot hear you. It happens. Yeah, it does happen. Ooh.
This is great. We can hear you. We can. You've got. You have solved something. I don't know what you did, but you did great because now there is some sound. So, if just the quality of the connection, yeah, at another time it will work better. So that's good. You can use voice as well. Among Us.
And we've got Buff, I think, has got voice as well. Buff, do you want to try saying hello? Oh, no, he's run away.
You scared him. You're very scary at
I
times.
am terrifying, aren't I? As soon as I say the person's name, they're just like, no, don't ask me to speak. Hi, Sarah. Well, oh, Sarah, we are in MLC. Both, come back. I'm not scary, honest.
You are.
Now, I'm sorry if you can hear... I'm sorry if you can hear thumpiness. I'm using a desktop mic at the moment. In fact, I'm attached to my computer this morning because I just did not have time this morning to set up my hands-free, so I can't wander around. But I hope the sound quality is good. Nobody's been saying okay. Yeah, it's life on the internet. I've heard that the satellites in above the Congo are very good. Oh, I've got to find that. I've got to find that for you. Hang on. Wales. Oh, satellite. Congo. Okay. Let's see. Powys man gets broadband over satellite. There you are. If somebody in Wales can do it, guys, then you can do it. This is Powys is an area of Wales, like a county. Powys gets broadband via satellite over Africa, and it's what they call rural broadband in the UK.
So this is a picture of Wales, or
that's a picture of Powys, yeah.
Oh wow, awesome!
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can you hear me, Tom?
Yay! Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go on, carry on. The more you
Could
speak,
you introduce yourself?
yeah.
I'm from India.
Okay.
Good start. And what are you doing here?
I'm here just to what to say? Communicative English.
Good. That's what we're all about. So, you found us from live chat or through the forum? How did you join us? How did you find us?
I was searching on the website.
Cool.
List of websites, 5 or 6 websites. So I choose your website.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome. Indeed, welcome. And why are you learning English?
Everything is in English, you know.
Everything. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you see, April, it is still relevant.
Yes.
But in India,
and my
you speak Hindi. You speak more Hindi in India than English. You?
Hindi is not very much spoken in India. It's in the mostly in the northern region. We had many languages in India. Like if we go to south area, then there are Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada.
Tamil, Malayalam,
And
Tamil.
they have
Okay.
many different languages.
Okay, and which one do you speak beside English? You speak Hindi? You are in the northern part or another region of India? Which one
And they are in the northern part.
as well?
Yes.
Yes, and English.
Not so good.
Sounds good enough to me,
I
but
was going to say. I was about to say exactly the same thing, Tom. Sounds pretty good to me. It's about, yeah, you probably know quite a lot of English, both from what you've been saying, but you need to activate it. And the only way you can really, truly activate it is by using it. Write it, speak it, producing in it, just being active with the language. Hey Sana! Way! Sana's from Pakistan. Okay, how many languages in Pakistan then? Should we have a number of languages face off?
there are plenty in Pakistan as well.
Yeah, I know. And that's why English is a good, people talk about imperialism and all this stuff, cultural misappropriation, rubbish. English is quite handy because there are so many languages in the world and there are so many languages in many larger countries. Because England is a small country.
It's so difficult to pronounce these bloody English sounds.
Oh, don't worry about that. Just make yourself understood. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you've got... here we go. Languages of Pakistan. There we go. And I know sometimes people from Pakistan can understand people in the UK, in India. There are some crossovers within these languages. But yeah, there are so many in these different countries and so many regions that English is kind of handy. Just use it as a tool, not as a, the be all and end all. That's what I was trying to say, by the way, in my little tweet, April. Nobody ever watches my tweet, my Twitter account apart from April.
Well, at least there is something having a look at them. Someone. It's beginning.
Well, exactly. I'm just trying to find the one where I was saying about, maybe it wasn't in Twitter.
It's Google Plus. Learn English.
Google Plus, thank you. I've got too many different things, I'm afraid. I should post to all or none, but it just depends what website I'm on and what sharing buttons they have as to where I actually stick these things sometimes. I just find them and I think, oh, that's interesting, I'll share it. And then I'll find the share button, and if it's one or the other, I'll choose one, because nobody has a share to everything button. They just have different...
But a question for you, Teach. Where do you think English... Yes. Oh, yes.
Too early. It's Monday.
I don't mind. I'm not running any session now. I'm back into the participating. So, where do you think in the world English is less spoken? Have you got any idea, or because you post a lot of stuff around English, and I was wondering if there are some parts of the world where English is not so used. Like, for example, in South America, I think it's getting bigger and bigger, but I'm not sure that English is so spread over there.
No, I think if you go to the large cities in most places, then yes, you will get English spoken and used. Any international city, I think you're pretty much guaranteed to find
business where there is business.
But exactly. But when you go into rural areas, and it's the same in Germany, but also if you go to rural economies like Bhutan, I know that it's not very widely spoken in Bhutan at all. And I think a lot of people in rural areas and areas where English isn't spoken so much have this idea that English is the key to
you call a rural
quality
area
of life. Yeah.
What do you call rural area then? Villages
and towns. But when you get into cities, you'll find English is pretty much widely spoken. because that, you know, it attracts people who speak that language. And if you go into it's like, okay, let's go to England, and you go to a department store. You go to Harrods, for example. You will find somebody in that department store that will speak pretty much most languages. You speak to one of the people, they might not speak that language, but they will find somebody who speaks your language, especially if you've got money. Okay? And anywhere in Harrods.
That's Harrods?
Yeah, that's Harrods. Okay, so very
They
international.
hire people from other countries.
Yes.
They hire people.
Absolutely. Yeah, language is one of the key recruitment questions in Harrods. Especially if you're front of house, which means you're serving customers. If you can speak more than one language, well, that's not enough. 2 or 3 languages, maybe 4 or 5 languages, definitely. Hotels are the same. The big chains of hotels, they will have somebody who speaks.
4 is
the
a
language.
minimum
In London. Yeah.
4 is a
minimum. Yeah, I would say. But if you go to my local corner shop in Nottingham, forget it. They don't speak anything but English. And it's the same around the world. The more international the city, the more languages people will speak, not just English. And the more rural or the smaller the city or town, the less likely it is you'll find people speaking other languages.
But England is not a good example because, as you said earlier...
It's a metaphor, not an example.
Good metaphor then, because there everybody speaks lingua franca, so they are not necessarily in the towns making.
No, I'm just talking about finding people who speak your language in England. This idea that nobody in England speaks another language is not true.
It's not true.
No.
Okay.
Everybody I know in England, all my friends are learning other languages. Isn't that weird? Didn't used to be, but the internet has done that. Because it's made it more accessible.
Grown-up people are learning
grown-ups. My friends,
well,
I
all
have grown-up friends, honestly.
So grey hair, or about to wrinkly,
just about to shuffle off,
hobbling around. They are learning a language.
Yeah, everybody I know is learning a language. Usually French. I think that's because French is what they learnt at school, but they are all doing it.
But that was a good example of your article about the old people in Korea.
Yes.
Lynne.
Oh, wasn't it lovely?
Yeah.
Age is no
barrier.
So
I said that I would like to be one of them, but I'm not so wise as them. Yeah, because in the article they said, the young people can learn from their wise or from their wisdom, all the old people. But I'm not that wise as them.
There you go. That's the article that April's talking about.
And one thing I've got the impression now after the Wimbledon that the tennis players now, not only the young people, not only the young players, they speak so good English. Oh, I'm really jealous. Even Rafael Nadal, I think 2 years ago, if I heard Nadal speak English, it was really Spanglish, really Spanglish. But now he could express himself so good and almost perfect English, better than mine.
They repeat the same things again and again, so...
No, in interview they talk each others.
Well, if you can judge that, if you can say that Rafael Nadal has got a good English, a good command of English, is that you are able to make this appreciation, which means that yourself, you probably are good enough as well and have a good command of English, April. Otherwise, you will not be able to say that, I think.
Okay, just to clarify, that last post is the one that says, is English really losing importance in Europe? Okay, so not in the world, but in Europe. And it's purely about Brexit, really.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that the French are rubbing their hands in glee in the European Parliament, but forget it, France. Nobody's going to learn French. Okay.
What about
the
learning
same for
French?
Germans. Maybe Spanish. Maybe Spanish would be a good one for Europe. Maybe. But,
let's be fair. Let's be fair. France. Everybody knows a little bit of French in the past generation because it used to be kind of diplomatic language used all around Europe anyway. So why not? So
because you have gender for things. I think that by default, any language which puts gender on
same with
things.
Spanish.
Yeah, well then we'll have to stick to English. It's the only logical, sensible language that says a table is an it. You cannot put gender on things and then expect people to learn your language. Forget it. And also English is much more... No, but English is much more equal as well because we don't have this formal, informal nonsense either.
You are so bad at diplomacy.
So boring. Sana, we're boring Sana. We're boring Sana.
Oh, sorry, Sana. We won't bore you. But...
Sana, if you want it to be more interesting, you'll have to tell us what to talk about. We're all boring. Yeah, we are. I'll put my hand up. I am a very boring person. You know, get me talking about languages and I'll bore the pants off you. A Quran example? Do you mean a Korean example, Shiny? We don't do religion. Okay, remember you can edit your text. So if you go into one of your messages, just hover your mouse in it and you'll get the little 3 dots on the right hand side. It's a long way over to the right if you're on a proper monitor, and then you can edit your text. That's all right. That's okay, Sana. I mean, I'm quite happy to put my hand up as a boring person. People seem to think my life is terribly interesting, but I look at my life and I think, no, I'm a pretty boring person. But I don't mind because I've had an interesting life in the past, and interesting can be terrifying. I'd much rather have a boring, regular life nowadays. I'm of that age now. I don't want an interesting life. There is a Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. So, who thinks what, Lynn? April, take the mic.
That you are boring. Who's that you are not? That you are interesting. No. That you are interesting.
I get that.
Who thinks that? I don't think you're interesting. I never said
no,
that.
I didn't say that I'm interesting. I said some people seem to think I live an interesting life. Well, when I first meet people, they seem to think, wow, that's so interesting. Wow, that's so different. And then they get to know me and they realise, well, actually, anybody could do that.
Anybody can do what?
Just what I do. My life. Anybody could live my life.
Live your life. You can all. Everybody live their own life. Yes, we can all live our own life.
Anybody could live the kind of life I live. I mean, people like Marion. She's interesting because of all her travelling, etc. And people like Zom, again, interesting. Me, oh dear. Yeah, okay. I go to the UK once or twice a year. I go camping. I suppose that could be interesting. But when I go camping, you know, what do? I read books. I play cards. Anybody could do it. I could do that at home. Why do I go and live in a field to do it?
You're crazy, definitely crazy.
Oh, right, great. I'm boring, now I'm crazy. Okay, Sana. Sana's trying to qualify. Sana, when in hole, stop digging. That's a saying we have in English. When you've said something and you realise, oh no, I didn't really want it to say that, then when in hole, stop digging.
It's fine. Here we argue about anything and everything just for the sake of it anyway. So even Shani, when she say because boring means peace, I don't understand it. So Shani, you'll have to explain that. I don't know what it means boring means peace.
Shiny, take the mic.
Literally, boring means peace. That's all.
There is a quote. There is no context. To me, it means nothing at all. I can't understand what it means. I don't understand what you want to express here when you say that.
I think April's trying to
but
kind
boring.
of explain it. If you look at what April just typed.
Oh, you can just start to dig 6 feet hole and lie into it.
Exactly. Death is very peaceful. Well, the book we're reading in Kitely at the moment is a book about, being very careful about the kind of wishes you make. Okay, it's a children's book. If you get the chance to read it, you can listen to some of the recordings on YouTube that we've done of the session and read along with us, or you can read it on your own. It's called 5 Children and It. It's a wonderful book. What's really weird, and
Who is it?
it is a sand fairy. Okay, Samiyad. Okay, so 5 Children and It is the name of the book if you want to look it up. It's free online, so you can just read along with us, or just read it on your own. But the thing is, the point I was trying to make is it's about the danger of wishes and how they can go wrong. And I think if you wish for something like peace, that can be so dangerous because, yes, death is very peaceful.
Well, the little worm will be happy though.
Well, yes, exactly. I think you have to be very careful about such things. But I know what Shiny was trying to say. That's exactly what that curse means, Shiny. May you live in interesting times. Interesting times generally means chaos, confusion, violence, etc. And you've only got to watch television.
Confusion is good. It makes you think. Someone told me that.
Yeah, confusion. Confusion is good. But it can also be... just look at the films people make and look at the TV programmes people make. How many of them are about love and peace and nice, people having dinner and families having a nice time? There's always some kind of confrontation or violence or nastiness in it, because that's what we like to watch, I guess. But I don't know what that says about us as a species. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's a stimuli. I think we are all having dinner within family and so on, but we don't experience necessarily other things in life. So it's a different way to experience something different as well.
But I prefer my life to be sitting around the dinner table or playing cards of an evening. And I prefer my anything interesting to happen more. I've just started watching Game of Thrones, by the way, season 7. Yay! Are you listening, Aladdin? Okay, now we're running out of time. It is 10 o'clock, and I am going to have to depart on time because I still haven't opened Kitely, so I'm not sure what's going to confront me. I'll be in Kitely in half an hour to carry on reading the book. If anybody can remember where we got up to last time, that would be really nice. April, I hope to see you there. Moz, maybe as well. Anything anybody wants to tell me or ask me before I disappear? Remember, you can carry on chatting here. When I go, it doesn't mean the session has to end. You can carry on speaking, text chatting, whatever. Leaving messages.
The last sentence is, "Oh, I'm hungry."
Ah, thank you. Actually, I am. I haven't really had breakfast yet. I mean, I've just got so much to do. The next line...
I mean, in the book.
Yeah, no, I know, but
okay.
I am hungry. Thank you for that.
Me too.
I'm going to go and make myself some toast or something and a cup of coffee. Now, the next live chat session on Discord is planned for Friday, TGIF, which is at 4:30 my time. Okay, that's now for next week. Keep an eye on the calendar because some times and sessions are going to change somewhat. I haven't had time to do it yet. I thought I could do it whilst I was on holiday, but no, it just didn't happen. I've always said I couldn't run the network if I was in England, and I think my holiday, 3 weeks in England, and I didn't stop once. I mean, it's just go the whole time. And now some of my friends have followed me over to Germany, so weird. People are actually getting into Germany now more than in the past.
British people are going to Germany.
Yeah. I had a contact because I contacted some friends. I don't make a big thing about it. I just said if I happen to be in England, I contact them whilst I'm in England, and it was really funny because they went, "No, we're in Germany." What? And so we're going to meet up, which is nice. Although they're not in my favourite part of Germany. They're along the Rhine, and I like the Moselle. Moselle's much prettier, but I'll make an exception for them. Anyway, yeah, the time zone is, if you look up Berlin time zone, it's a bit confusing, I know, but as you can tell from my voice, probably I am British, but I live in Germany. So when I do the calendar, I kind of stick to my time, which is very selfish of me, I know. But you can easily convert the time into your own time zone, okay? But the time zone to look for is Berlin, okay? So, Shiny, yes, I hope to see you in Kitely, and we'll carry on reading the book. It's nice to be back. Yes, I've got to go, Sana. I'm in World. When I say I'm in World, it's another session. We run sessions on different platforms. The main platforms are Skype, Discord, Kitely, which is a virtual world, a bit like Second Life, if you've heard of that. You can find it all on the network, and also Webinar Jam. Now, Webinar Jam is a little confusing at the moment. So Webinar Jam or Google Hangouts, if you know Google Hangouts, okay? But have a look at the calendar. It always tells you what platform the session is on. If anybody could post up the calendar link for me, that would be cool, because at the moment my computer's a bit stuck. I hate computers. I really do. They're so useless. Hang on. No, I've got it. English calendar. Okay. Now, in order to... Oh, thank you, Zom. You're faster than me. Now, in order to take part in some of the sessions, all you have to do is find us. But if you heard Skype and you thought, yay, I've got a Skype account, you do have to be a network member, which means joining the forum. Okay. So that is a requirement. The only sort of membership requirement, and that is for Skype. Okay. So if you do want to take part in Skype sessions, join the forum, be active. Okay, but for other sessions, you can just come along, take part, listen, whatever. Yeah, we're very relaxed and informal here. You might have noticed in today's live chat. Just before I go, though, I would like to say thank you so much to Zom. I know it's not easy running sessions. I know it can drive you crazy. So well done. I think after 3 weeks of running sessions, you're still relatively sane.
That's you think.
Okay. So I'll see you all in Kitely. Take care, and
Thank you.
Everybody who joined us, welcome, explore, get involved, yeah? I hope to see you again, but it's up to you, okay? Nobody's going to drag you kicking and screaming into these things. Bye-bye. We'll try and be more interesting next time, Sana. Bye, take care. See you, Reem.